So let's solve an example to see how the steps on balancing redox reactions in acidic solution. That's our reaction there. We are taught to balance in acidic media. So just as I said earlier, that the steps that you should consider when balance redox reactions in acidic solution, they are as follows. And the first step is separate into half reactions. So how do we separate into half reactions? So that's our step one. So what are we going to do here? We are going to start with when we mean separating into half reactions, we mean we separate for Fe2 plus and the MnO4 negative. That's what we mean when we say separate half reaction. So that's the first step whenever you are answering balancing in acidic media. Yeah. So what do you do? First, we are going to have Fe2 plus, which is Fe2 plus is equal to, now as you are seeing, on the left side it is Fe2 plus and on the right side it is Fe3 plus. So what do we do to make these reactions equal on the left side and right side? What do we do? We add an electron to the left side. So we are going to add the plus electron, which is negative. Now what's happening there is, since we have on the right side Fe3 plus a negative electron, it just means that it's equal to 3 minus 1 electron is going to be 2, which means they are going to be equal. So that's our first reaction, which half reaction that we have got. Yeah, so we just added, as you know, electron is negative, so that 3 plus on top, when you add a negative, it's going to become what? 2 plus. Let's go ahead to what? The second reaction, which is MnO4 negative, and even on the right side. So let's go ahead and write it. So that's our reaction for MnO4 negative, which is equal to Mn2 plus. Now, as you can observe that in this reaction we have O. Yeah, so we can't just like add electrons because it's like a compound. Now, how do we balance Mn reaction? So first, we are going to balance O by adding water. And that's our first step when you are talking about balancing in acidic media. So the second step, the first step I said, break them into half reactions. The second step is balance O with water. So just like here, we have O4. We need to, how do we balance the O so that they become equal? We balance this by adding water. So that's the step, guys, in acidic media. So step 2, we are balancing what? Mn reaction by balancing O with H2O. So what are we going to have? We're going to have, so there is our example. We are going to add what? Water. Now how do we balance the O? We see on the left side there is there are 4 oxygen atoms. So that's why you are seeing these 4 that I've added here to balance what? To balance the O. Now again we need to balance H. As you can see, there is hydrogen, 8 atoms of hydrogen on the right side, but on the left side there's no what? There's no hydrogen. So now that is what leads us to the what? The third step when balancing in acidic media, which means you balance H with H plus. So hydrogens you balance with what? With hydrogen. So how do you do it? So here is how you do it. So there is our reaction. So that's the reaction that we are going to have, which is MnO4 negative on top plus 8H, because on the right side there are 8 hydrogen atoms. So that's what we have done. So the first one, break them into reaction. That's the first step when balancing in acidic media. The second step is add water to balance what? To balance O. Then the third step, how do you balance? Because on water there is hydrogen atoms. How do you balance hydrogen atoms? It's by adding what? Hydrogen atom, positive hydrogen atoms. And as you can see here on step 3, on the right side here, there is 8 hydrogen atoms. 4 times 2 is 8. So that's why I've added 8 hydrogen atoms there. Now from that point, how do you proceed? After balancing the atoms, you go now to what? You balance the charges. So let's go ahead. How do we balance the charges? So on the left side here, on this one, so let's go to step 4. Not even step 4. Yeah. So how do we balance the charges? So on the left side here, you can see that there is a -1 charge here and +8 here. So on the left side. So here is how we balance our charges, guys. So on the left side, it's -1 charge plus 8. This one means 8 charges, yeah. So then we have equal to 7. What about the right side? On the right side, we just have 2 plus. We just have 2 plus. Water there, we can't say that it has a charge, yeah. So we have 2 plus. So which means, how do you balance the charges? On the left side, guys, we have 7 charge, 7 positive charge. On the right side, we have 2 positive charge. Now, how do we balance these charges, guys? So what do? You do what we did in the first place here. When balance, we added an electron, but here for the electrons here to be for the charges to be 2, we need to add what? 5 electrons, which means what do? Add 5 electrons to the left side. So that's what we do. We add 5 electrons to the what? To the left. Then let's go ahead and write the final balanced equation. So here is the final balanced equation. As you can see, we have just incorporated everything that we said. The first one is MnO4 negative plus 8H plus on the left side. That's what we did here. Then we also added 5 electrons to the left side. They are the ones we are seeing here. Then we also added what? Water to the right side. So now this reaction is for Mn, yeah, MnO4 negative. Now what do? The next step, which we usually call as that's step 6, after balancing the charges, is equalize the what? The electrons. Equalize the electrons. And how do you equalize the electrons? So you equalize the electrons by multiplying 5 to what? To Fe, so that you equalize the what? The electrons. So this 5, because it's here on Mn what, you need to multiply it also to the what? To the reaction for Fe is equal to Fe3++ in negative E electrons. So how do you multiply that one? So as you can see, this reaction, we just need to multiply 5 so that we equalize the number of electrons. Now the last step after equalizing the electrons, you just have to write the final balanced equation. And how do you write the final balanced equation? By adding the what? The 2 half reactions. Then that's when you are going to have your final balanced equation. So we are going to say here add. So that's what we are going to say, and the final reaction is going to be, so this is our final balanced equation, but we have just added what's on the left side, which is MnO4 plus 8H plus 5Fe2 plus. So we have just added the reaction. As you can see on Fe, it was Fe, but we just multiplied by 5, which is here. Yeah, so you just write what's on the left side and what's on the what? On the right side also. Yeah, here. That's the final balanced equation. So there's nothing difficult about balancing any acidic media and also in basic media. So don't forget to watch the next video, because I'm going to talk about how to balance any basic media. And also, if you want the full video is available on YouTube, starting from the introduction on the redox reaction. So thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and hit that subscribe button.